Welcome, deep divers. Have you ever stopped to think about, how all the different twists and turns in your life fit together? The family stuff, the things you believe, the unexpected choices. How does it all make, well, a story?
Right. How do those early days shape us, and how do we find meaning when we're maybe juggling different beliefs?
Exactly. And today, we're diving deep into one person's incredible journey. It's got fascinating family history, unique cultural elements, and a really compelling spiritual search.
And our mission here is to really unpack the layers of this story. We want to look at how things like, say, ancestral karma and her own choices play together.
And how searching for truth, even when it's confusing, can lead somewhere clear.
Absolutely. We'll be looking at the specific questions she had about her life and the detailed answers from our sources. It might offer you a new way to look at things in your own life, too,
Yeah.
seeing those connections.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. The roots of this journey. We're talking about the listener's paternal grandparents. They were Chinese immigrants, settled down in Yala. Pretty humble beginnings, right?
Very much so. Hard workers.
And they had this huge family, 15 kids. But here's where it gets really tough. They lost their first 5 sons, all boys, lost to illness during World War II. Just heartbreaking. Lack of medicine back then.
Imagine that loss. 5 children?
It's hard to fathom. And out of that fear, that desperation, the grandmother embraced this unique Chinese tradition. She was terrified of losing more children.
Understandably.
So she insisted that the sixth child, that's the listener's father and all the kids after him, call the grandparents Azor, which means sister-in-law, and Kor, meaning older brother.
Oh, kind of trick, you mean? Like a superstition?
Yeah, exactly. Like trying to fool death, basically. And the thing is, after they started doing that, they didn't lose any more children.
Wow. So for them, that must have felt like proof.
Totally solidified their belief in it. Okay, let's moving on a generation. The listener's father, the sixth kid, he moves to Bangkok. Starts out as a gas station attendant at Bangchak, really starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And then he meets her mother, who was from Trang. Now, she sounds like a real force. Strong-willed, self-made, got her university degree while working, became a teacher at a well-known school in Bangkok.
Quite driven.
Sounds like it. The sources mention it was kind of a matriarchal household. She was the leader.
Interesting dynamic.
So now we get to our listener.
Yeah.
Middle of 3 daughters. And get this, at just 3 months old, she's sent off to Yala to live with her paternal grandmother.
The same one with the Azor Court tradition?
The very same. And maybe because of all the earlier loss, the grandmother just doted on her. Completely spoiled her, apparently. So much so that when she turned 5, she flat out refused to go to school.
Wow, that early separation and then being spoiled like that, that's bound to have an impact, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It definitely set a pattern, created this sort of foundational disconnect,
Sure.
And thinking about that whole family history you just laid out, the losses, the traditions, it makes you wonder about what follows people, karmically speaking. What do the sources say happened to the grandparents in the end?
Right. Good question.
Well, the grandfather passed away in 1974, just from old age. The grandmother lived much longer, until 2001, but passed from uterine cancer at 84.
Okay.
And the karmic answers are quite specific. The grandfather apparently went to the Yamalok, which our sources describe as a kind of hell realm. This was due to past karma from killing animals for food and also idol worship.
Ooh, that sounds rough.
It was described as great suffering, but interestingly, the merit sent by his family did bring him some relief there.
So merit transfer is real even in that state? According to these sources, yes. Now, the grandmother's fate was different. She became a mid-level Brahmadeva, like a celestial being or deity. This was an improvement from a lower level she was initially in, and that improvement was also thanks to the merits sent to her.
That's really powerful. Actions having consequences beyond this life, but also the possibility of help through merit. What about that Azor Core tradition, though? It clearly meant so much to them. Did it actually work karmically?
That's a really important point, separating belief from, let's say, karmic mechanics. Many Chinese families practice similar customs, often for comfort, for that feeling of control.
Sure, makes sense.
But the sources clarify that the tradition itself wasn't the reason the later children survived. It was more that the specific karma, both the grandparents' and the children's own individual karma that had led to the earlier deaths had, well, run its course.
Ah, okay. So the timing was coincidental with the tradition starting.
Essentially, yes. It highlights how we often look for explanations in rituals, but the deeper karmic laws might be operating on a different level, independent of our superstitions.
That's a key distinction. So back to our listener. What about her being separated so young and those difficult family relationships later? Was there a karmic reason for that specific challenge?
Yes, there was. The sources point to residual karma from a past life. Apparently, in a previous existence, she had given children away for others to raise.
Oh, wow. So she caused separation herself in the past.
Exactly, separating them from their parents, and that echoed into this life. Plus, her own traits in this life, being quite stubborn, a bit self-centered, also played a part in those strained relationships, on top of just not knowing her family well because of the early separation.
It really shows how past actions, even things we don't remember, can shape our present connections, doesn't it?
It's a complex web, for sure.
Okay, so navigating these early struggles,
Hmm.
her health wasn't great in Bangkok.
Hmm.
The sources say 3 days well, 4 days sick, just constantly unwell.
Tough start.
Yeah, so her aunt saw this, felt sorry for her, and suggested she come live with her and her maternal grandparents down in Trang.
A change of scene.
And it was a huge change. Her health got much, much better there. Seems like that move was a real turning point for her physically.
Definitely sounds like it. Gave her some stability.
And while she was in Trang, something really significant happened. She was about 6. At a school New Year's event, a Christian theater group came. They did a play about Jesus' birth, gave out gifts, taught songs.
Okay.
And this experience just deeply moved her. It sparked this really strong desire inside her to become a Christian, like a moment of real wonder for a little kid.
A powerful emotional connection, then.
Seems like it. But her journey wasn't straightforward. At age 11, she had to go back to Bangkok for more schooling.
Ah, another adjustment.
And it was tough again. Academically challenging, yes, but also really severe social problems. Bullying, teasing. Kids just didn't want to be around her.
Oh, that's awful, especially at that age.
Yeah. She felt totally isolated, frustrated with people. And so she turned to animals, dogs and cats, found comfort with them because, as the sources put it, they never made her sad.
A safe haven.
Totally. Meanwhile, her parents saw her as a problem child, the difficult middle kid. Her mother would apparently shame her for bad grades or strange behavior, things like sleeping in class or pulling her hair out during exams. It just sounds like a really lonely, misunderstood time for her.
It really does. And if we look at the karmic angle again, her struggles fitting in with people and that deep bond with animals, it lines up.
How so?
Well, in a past life, she apparently lacked the merit that comes from encouraging others to do good things. She also carried over a nature that was stubborn, self-centered, easily annoyed.
Okay.
And crucially, she had karma from teasing and bullying other kids herself in that past life, making them feel embarrassed.
Whoa. So the bullying she experienced was a direct karmic result.
That's what the sources indicate. It manifested as her own social isolation. And the dogs and cats, well, they don't tease, argue, or contradict her, which made them perfect companions for someone with that specific karmic baggage and personality.
Wow. The echo of past actions shaping present relationships, even who we find comfort with. That's profound. Okay, so here's another twist. During her technical college years, she went to PVS, studying fabric and apparel. She started earning money on the side.
Oh, yeah. Doing what?
As a gypsy tarot card reader.
No kidding. Where did she learn that?
Completely self-taught. Just studied books, mashed methods together, made up her own way of doing it.
It's resourceful.
And here's the kicker. She was surprisingly accurate. Even when she felt like she was just guessing, people kept saying her predictions were spot on. She got loads of clients.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, she charged like 5 bodies per topic. Love, work, whatever. Could make 25 bodies or more per person. Pretty decent side money for a student back then.
Definitely. So what's the source's take on her accuracy? Was it, supernatural help? It's a good question. The sources are clear. It wasn't intervention from, say, supernatural beings, like Vithiathorn, a type of celestial being.
Okay, so not that.
No. It was more a mix of her own intuition, her feelings, her understanding of the tarot system itself, plus the karmic affinity of the people who came to her for readings. They were drawn to her for a reason.
So a combination of things.
Exactly. But here's the interesting karmic note. This act of reading fortunes, even just for money, was reinforcing something called a karma of delusion.
Karma of delusion. What does that mean?
It means that by engaging in this kind of activity, predicting futures, dealing with maybe illusions or interpretations, she was subtly strengthening a karmic tendency towards those things. It could even make her more accurate in future lives and draw her back into similar situations.
So even seemingly small actions can steer your future karma.
Precisely. especially actions related to views, beliefs, and predicting outcomes. They can subtly shape the patterns you fall into later on.
Right. Okay, so this tarot reading phase kind of sets the stage for a major spiritual turning point, doesn't it?
It seems to lead right into it.
She decides to join a Christian club in college. For her, this felt like finally achieving that childhood dream, finding God.
Fulfilling that early desire from Trang.
Yeah. And she was welcomed right away. A senior member took her under her wing, called herself the Shepherd Mother, and called our listener a lamb. Sounds quite nurturing initially.
A strong sense of belonging, which she probably craved.
Exactly, but it immediately created problems. Belief clashes. She was told point blank, take off your Buddhist amulets, stop bowing to Buddha statues.
Oh, wow. That's direct.
Very direct. And for someone raised Buddhist, always making merit, offering food to monks, this caused huge internal confusion.
I can only imagine a real conflict.
The Christian seniors basically argued, look, once you believe in God, you don't need that other stuff. It's incompatible. Believing in God gets you to heaven. Buddha. He was just a man God created.
That's a tough message to hear when your whole upbringing is different. You're right, that internal struggle must have been intense.
It really must have been.
And what's fascinating from our perspective, looking at the sources, is how these explanations, instead of offering comfort like maybe they were intended to, actually just created more confusion for her. They didn't quite land.
Yeah, they didn't resonate.
Exactly. And it brings up a big question, doesn't it? How do different faiths provide meaning? And what happens when the answers you're given just don't match your own experience or intuition? The sources explicitly say she felt worse after hearing these things, that it wasn't what she wanted or needed. It shows how personal that search for truth really is.
Totally. And the confusion just piled up with specific examples. Like, she believed not eating beef or buffalo was a sign of gratitude, right, for their work.
Okay, a personal, ethical view.
But she was told, nope, God sent them to be human food. End of story.
A very different perspective.
Then there was the whole testing God thing. She was told, never test God. Don't say, if God's real, show me a sign, that kind of thing.
Right, common teaching.
Yet whenever something bad happened, the explanation was always, God is testing your faith.
Ah, the paradox. Don't test God, but God tests you.
Exactly. It felt totally contradictory to her and confusing.
Yeah, those kinds of apparent contradictions can be really unsettling when you're seeking clear answers.
Totally. And explanations for life events felt, well, evasive, good things, God's will, bad things. A test. Someone dies. God wanted them to be with him. It just didn't satisfy her need for understanding.
Left her wanting more clarity.
But the real kicker, the thing that seemed to trouble her most deeply, especially given her love for animals.
Let me guess, it involved an animal.
You got it. The dog got hit by a car. She asked, full of concern, will the dog go to heaven?
Okay, a natural question for her.
And the answer she got was, it has a mind, but no spirit.
Oof, that's dark. Especially for someone who found such comfort with animals.
Right. It just completely clashed with her own feelings, her intuition about them. That answer really bothered her.
Yeah, that kind of definitive statement about the spiritual status of animals can be a real point of friction between belief systems, especially for someone with her history.
Meanwhile, back home, her mother was not happy about this Christian phase. Deeply saddened, actually. Even called her Palau Forgor, basically. Worthless or troublesome.
Wow, family disapproval on top of the internal confusion.
Yeah. But even with all that, she initially tried to stick with it. She hoped, that eventually everyone would understand and they could all go to heaven together.
That really speaks to the deep human desire for shared belief and belonging, doesn't it? Even when things are really difficult.
It really does. So, okay, she's wrestling with all this confusion. The answers aren't sitting right. Her family's upset. She reaches a breaking point, a turning point.
Makes sense. Something had to give.
She decides to leave the Christian club and go back to Buddhism. She joins a Buddhist club instead.
Okay, a return.
And the experience there, a total contrast. Discussions she had with people in the Buddhist club, peers and seniors, they gave her answers that felt logical and clear.
Ah, so it clicked for her intellectually.
Exactly. That clarity really resonated. She felt much happier, much more at ease. It sounds like she finally found the kind of spiritual and intellectual home she'd been looking for all along.
That must have been a huge relief. Finding a path that made sense to her.
For sure. And she didn't just dabble. She got seriously involved. She first visited Wat Phra Dhammakaya back in 1997, then visited again later after studying somewhere else. The sources say merit guided her back.
Interesting. Guided by her good karma.
Seems like it. She became a volunteer, started just distributing water, then helped with traffic control, then became a Dhamma ball.
A guardian of the Dhamma, so increasing levels of commitment.
Definitely. And after graduating college, she actually trained as a female Dhammadayata.
Okay, that's a serious commitment, like a dedicated, like, lay practitioner undergoing intensive training.
Right. She worked a regular job for about a year, found it wasn't fulfilling, and then made the decision to just dedicate herself full time to supporting the religion.
A complete life change, then.
Absolutely.
You know, what's really fascinating here, connecting back to karma, is how this whole journey mirrors a past life pattern.
Oh, yeah? How so?
The sources explain that in a previous life, she actually had conflicts with some members of the Buddhist community she was part of.
She had problems within Buddhism before.
Apparently so. And because of that conflict, she left and embraced a theistic religion like Christianity for a while in that past life, too.
No way. So she did this before.
It seems so. But then, in that past life, her eyes were later opened, as the sources put it, and she returned to the Buddhist community.
So this life is literally an echo of that past cycle.
Exactly. Karma kind of pushed her towards Christianity again in this life, maybe to resolve something or re-experience it. But ultimately, the strong merit, the connection she'd built with the Buddhist community in the past, pulled her back.
That's incredible. Like a karmic homing signal. But what about her family? Her mom was upset about the Christian phase, but why weren't they deeply involved with the temple themselves if she found such a strong connection?
Yeah, that's a common question. Why are our families always on the same spiritual page? The sources suggest a couple of things. One, in that past life we just talked about, she wasn't always a consistent, good spiritual friend.
Meaning she didn't always encourage others, like her family perhaps, towards good deeds.
Right. She didn't consistently cultivate that merit of guiding others. And also, her aspirations, her prayers, or intentions weren't always thoroughly made to be born specifically into a family with right view, meaning a family already deeply connected to that specific path, like Dhammakaya.
So her own past actions and intentions influenced the family situation she was born into this time.
Precisely. Her family did apparently make some merit with the community in the past, but it wasn't a continuous, deep connection. So if she wants to bring them closer now, well, the sources say it will take immense patience and a really open heart on her part, understanding their path is their own, shaped by their own karma.
That adds another layer, doesn't it? It's not just her journey, but how it intersects with everyone else's. What an amazing story we've unpacked today.
Truly multi-layered.
Yeah, from that intense family history, the grandparents' story, the karma tied up in that, through her really challenging childhood, that search for belonging, finding comfort in animals.
The bullying, the tarot cards.
Right. Then the spiritual shifts, the deep confusion with Christianity, and finally finding clarity and dedicating her life to Buddhism. It just powerfully shows how past actions, past lives, our deepest intentions, they really do weave through everything.
They really do. And it leads us to a final thought, something for you, our listeners, to maybe reflect on. The sources mention she's now working in the dissemination department, helping share the teachings, which aligns with her aspirations.
Fulfilling her purpose.
Exactly. And to really solidify that path for future lives, the advice given is for her to consistently practice what's called the tenfold celibacy, essentially abstaining from the 10 non-virtuous actions like killing, stealing, lying, harsh speech, etc., and to make strong aspirations every day.
Constant vigilance and intention setting.
Right. So the question for you is, after hearing this deep dive into one person's incredibly complex journey, guided by karma, shaped by searching, what does it reveal about your own life's tapestry? Can you sense any unseen threads connecting your past, influencing your present, maybe even pointing towards your future? It's certainly something to ponder as you navigate your own unique path.